I'm in Washington, D.C. at the Real Estate Roundtable meeting, and joining me is David Neithercut, the President and CEO of Equity Residential. So David, apartments have been on quite a roll, and it's one of the sectors where the difficult economic environment actually benefits fundamentals.
Absolutely.
Is there more room for growth, and what's your expectation?
I think there's absolutely more room for growth in the apartment space. Notwithstanding what's going on in the greater economy, I'll tell you that we are 95.5% or so occupied today. We'll create 800,000 to 900,000 new households in the country. The unemployment rate of the college educated is only 4.5% or 5% or so. We believe that the fundamentals are there, and I should also add that there's absolutely very little new supply being added. And so while jobs have been very important to the multifamily space in the past, and they continue to certainly to be important, they first have had to, we've needed jobs to fill the new supply that was being added to the space, and we're not having that new supply today. They're also necessary to backfill those people that were moving out of our apartments and go buy single-family homes, and that's certainly not happening. So our retention is up, occupancy is strong, we'll create new households, and again, the unemployment rate of the college-educated is not what the national unemployment rates are, and that is certainly our tenant base. So we think there's a significant amount of headroom. I'll also tell you that in our portfolio, the income or rent as a percentage of income is only about 21%. So we believe there's a lot more headroom for Equity Residential on the top line going forward.
In the September-October issue of REIT magazine, we profiled Equity Residential, and in that article you discussed the shift to focus more on the core urban markets. What's behind that decision?
Well, we really took a long, hard look about 7 or 8 years ago about where we thought the jobs were going to be in our economy going forward, the service jobs, the tech jobs, the healthcare jobs, as well as where the echo boom generation was going to want to live, work, and play. And we just felt that garden apartment products or near the freeway interchange was not where we wanted to be. That by adding assets to our portfolio that were higher density urban assets, that those would be in the markets where the jobs would be, and those certainly would be in the locations where that Gen Y generation would want to be. And certainly, as you look today across the multifamily landscape and look where rents have recovered, where property values have recovered, and where rents have not recovered, and where property values have not recovered, you've certainly seen a bifurcation of that. And in the gateway cities, you've seen not only just return to peak rents, but higher than previous peak rents, and you've seen valuations that have certainly recovered. And in so what we'd consider our non-core tertiary markets, you've certainly not seen that happen yet.
And looking at Equity Residential specifically, what are going to be the main drivers for your portfolio growth?
Well, certainly, as I said, top-line growth. I think that we will have a significant amount of internal growth going forward. Again, I can't overemphasize just the fact that the lack of new supply. And I'll tell you, I think that the financial or concerns that banks are having today is going to, I think, put a little bit of a lid on what incremental new construction you might have seen in our space, because I think the banks will have to be somewhat more conservative. And that doesn't mean that well-capitalized builders can't find capital. It's just the marginal player that will be boxed out. So I think we'll see very, very little new supply. I think it'll be a long time before single-family homes are sort of looked at as an investment again, and not something that one consumes. And again, at 95% occupancy, with this huge demographic of the Gen Y or echo boom demographic, with household formations, I think we've got a lot of upside. At the same time, I'll tell you, I think that the multifamily space, or really I think the public real estate space and the multifamily space, a segment of that, will attract more capital and will attract more assets. I think that the multifamily public REITs have got a fraction of the assets that in 5 or 10 years that they will have under ownership and management. And I think the upside for multifamily, the upside for REITs, the upside for Equity Residential is very, very high.
Great. David, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
For more REIT news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.